Here we go. Hello and welcome everyone to Scott Schilling Speaks. I'm your host, Scott Schilling. You're going to enjoy this show because we're going to talk about a lot of possibility thinking and what can happen when you're a small business owner that wants to become a bigger business owner of your own business. Got a great friend here with me that's going to share a ton of information. So I'd take out a pad of paper and a pen and get ready. Adam Brandley, thanks for joining me here today on Scott Schilling Speaks.
Well, thank you, Scott. It's a pleasure.
So you've created America's Real Deal. Tell everybody what America's Real Deal is.
Well, many people are familiar with Shark Tank that shows businesses coming in and pitching to these five sharks who then decide whether to invest or not and then negotiate the deal, right? And sometimes embarrass the business owners. I get a lot of businesses like, I don't want to be on Shark Tank, because of that. But what's really happened is America gets involved in these businesses and they want to participate. So what we've done is we've created a mobile app where as they watch the presentations and the deal is set in stone, so there's no negotiating the deal, they can go right through the app and they can invest $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 on their own. Anyone 18 and older can invest. And then if they like the product, maybe they don't have $100 to invest, but they got $50, they can buy the product. And if they don't have $50, they can push a vote button and actually vote for that company. But the vote is not like a text vote like America's Got Talent. It's actually a social share. You push the vote and now you've shared that video with all your Facebook friends or all your Twitter friends and get them involved. So it's really helping these business owners get this national exposure, but it also is a competition of these 16 companies. Who's going to raise the most money, sell the most product, get the most votes? They become the champion of America's Real Deal.
What a great concept. Let America be the sharks, and not necessarily having to be the sharks, be the ones that really want to lift up these entrepreneurial businesses and help other Americans really realize their dreams, right? I mean, so many people have their dreams, but they don't know how to step out and make them happen.
Well, exactly right. And before this, it was actually illegal for someone that's not accredited. So accredited means you have $1 million net worth, not including your home, right? So all these 96% of the country that's not accredited, they couldn't invest in these private deals. That's where the big money is. You hear about rich getting richer. Well, that's because they're investing in private deals. They're seeing a 10x, 1,000x on their money before it goes public. But then where's the public invest? They have to wait and invest when that big gain's already made. Now, I'm not saying that companies don't make money after they go public. They can, but they don't have the 1,000x, the 10,000x return that you have when buying when it's private. So when we bring in these investors and educate them, America, we are truly giving them some financial literacy, some things to look for. So our hosts, our mentors on the show, not necessarily judges, right? But mentors will say questions that the public will ask, like, why do you think you can compete with $1 billion company? Why is your product twice the price of Walmart? So these businesses will have to answer those questions, and the audience will really get to know the backstory of the business owners, why they're doing what they're doing, what they've been through, and why they believe they can take it to the next level with the right capital and with the right partners.
It's interesting. I was having a conversation with a business buddy of mine yesterday, and I said, the old entrepreneurial equation. And he said, what's that? I said, it takes twice as much money and twice as much time to achieve half the results that you planned. Right? and he said, that's really tragic. And I said, but isn't that what it really is, right? I was asking somebody earlier today, I said, what's the capitalization of the organization? Not that I really want to know who's behind them. I just want to know someone is behind them, because again, far too many people, we are not for lack of people with great ideas, and we are not for lack of people who want to do the work. We are, in my opinion, we are lacking the people who want to put the financial support behind the people who want to do the work. Is that true?
That is very, very true. Uh, and and the reason why within a 5-year period, 85% of all new businesses go out of business is lack of funding first, and then lack of experience in that industry. So it is critical. It's exactly what you said. So what we've done is, you see on our logo, it's America's Real Deal, powered by ISM. ISM is a compliance arm. So it helps that business become completely compliant with the Securities Exchange Commission to accept monies, to protect the business owner and to protect the investors. And then with a model to help that business year after year after year, not only raise capital, but get the right partners so that eventually they can go public on our ISM or independent stock market that has no short sales, no derivatives. Now we've taken that biggest problem from those entrepreneurs and getting the capital, getting them the expertise, those problems, and moving them forward. And then what's the biggest problem for an investor is getting my money back, right? Not necessarily how much money I'm making, but I want to know, how do I get my money back? And so with this path to liquidity, we can look and say, okay, within 3 years or 7 years, that company's going to go public with the independent stock market. That's how I can pull my money back out. And I can let that company grow and mature in between time.
I think it's a brilliant plan to create the path to liquidity, because again, another conversation I've been in this week, I'm the seventh largest shareholder in a private company, and that in a quarter actually gets me a quarter. Because if there is no public market for that, right? Really,
you just have company, wallpaper, right?
Really, really good company, making money, doing wonderful things, serving their clientele extremely well, all those kinds of things. And that's the thing that I think is so interesting about America's Real Deal and ISM and what you've put together here, because it's that path to liquidity. It's letting your friends and family know that we appreciate the fact that you threw $1,000 in to support us, and here's the plan for you to get your money and more back in the future.
Right. And then how do you determine what is your company worth, right? And what is that plan to get your money back with dividends, distribution, and growth that you keep control as a business owner? They're like, I'm not selling stock in my company. I don't want to lose control. Well, we show you how to keep control. Even when we take your company public, and the people teaching Steve Jobs, they didn't show him how to keep control, right? And it's the shareholders that control the board. The board controls the officers. Well, if you don't control the board, you can get fired as the president. And you get fired by the board. If you don't control the shareholders, by controlling the shares, you don't control the board. So we show them how to control by shareholder vote. That keeps them in control of their business the rest of their life, even growing and diluting stock by raising capital. And that's an important thing to these business owners.
I think that's I think it's admirable, but I think the other side of it is it's really important, because the reality is, again, not a lack of people without ideas, not a lack of people without hustle and wanting to do something about it, but even the folks who have the ideas and are willing to hustle so many times don't have the knowledge or the education base on the intricacies of business. Right? The how to take it public, or how to create a liquidity event, or what they need to know and need to do to build it going forward. And so that's what you've set up, really, America's Real Deal, and more importantly, probably ISM, to be that educational piece, correct?
It really is. And we can't expect them to be genius in everything. You know, they know the restaurant business. They've started as a cleaning the tables to ushering to cooking to running the business. They know their restaurant business. But then to say, well, here's a rule, you know, Reg CF from the SEC, and you know, you start talking a different language, you can't expect them to know that. So they come in with us as a partner. We help handle all that. We don't hand them a template and say, oh, go set up your broker dealer firm, go set up a stock transfer agent to issue the stock, and go set up a connection with Edgar that will do background checks and set up with the SEC and file all your documents. No, we say we'll do that all for you, and we'll do it year after year, and we'll help you build the business and take money legally. And we'll also make sure your corporate minutes are in place so that no one can pierce that corporate veil. We protect it because we know how to actually run a legitimate business, not just, hey, I have an idea and we're starting a business with some buddies and somebody loses some money, so they sue you, right?
Yeah.
We help these business owners run a legitimate business and then grow it to where it's not a job, it's actual business where they can step away and that business continues and lives on. That's what we're about.
Well, and the other side of this, you created America's Real Deal as the TV show where the public could utilize the app to, again, vote, to crowdfund and purchase shares in the company and actually support or buy the product from that side.
Mm-hmm.
But the foundation of it all is ISM, the independent stock market. Share a little bit about the concept behind the independent stock market and how does it compare or play against the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange, the things that people have already heard about?
Sure, a great question. And so there's really two parts of it. There's helping companies while they stay private. So we're not asking these companies to just jump into the public market today. We're going to wait till they're worth $20 to $50 million before we do that. So until then, but they need capital, they need coaching. So they jump onto our private market. And that is what we call a primary market where they can raise capital. And so they're on our platform, an investor can come in, read their story, read the financials, read the disclosure documents, learn about their team, but we really go in depth about who they are and why they're doing it so people can connect. Any investor, 80% of their decision is in the people. So that's why we do the show, right? So they connect with the people. We do the stock market the same way so they can read and watch videos and look at pictures and see their family and see with their dreams and their passions. So that is the primary marketplace. Then when we take a company public, that's called a secondary market because now you're buying and selling stock. So the stock that you bought over here in the primary market in private businesses, now that company goes public, you can sell your stock. So it's a buy-sell platform. Think of like an eBay where you want to sell your stock, you put it up for market, and someone comes in and says, yeah, I'll buy that for you. Or I want this price. And so there's that buy-sell bid-ask platform. But to be real clear, like you were asking, what is the difference between us and why are we an independent stock market? And we love the name because we're independent from Wall Street. The biggest difference is no short sales, no short squeezes, no derivatives of any kind. And a lot of people think they know what's going on with Wall Street, think they understand, and they're getting educated better than they were 20 years ago because thank heavens we have this internet that everybody can share the good and the bad and the ugly because there is a lot of ugly. Imagine the reality that a company goes public and they're at $32 a share. And everybody's thinking this company's going up to 40 within the next year, easy. Let's invest in. And they might even hit 50. So they're all buying up the stock. And then over here, there's a fellow that says, you know what? I want to buy that stock at 12 bucks. And I'm going to sell it to all these, I hate to say it, but all these suckers at 32. And so he puts an option to buy it at 12, and he pre-sells it at the 32. And all these guys are thinking, yeah, I'll buy it 32 because it's going up. But then he distorts the facts, and it's just rumor, his opinion, right? I don't think these guys know what they're doing. I don't think they got their contracts. I think that guy's sleeping around. Whatever the story is, to distort the facts from reality. So it's called a short and distort. And it happens all the time. So then the stock goes from 32 to 28 to 27 to 24 to 18 till it hits that 12 mark. What happens then is that guy bought 1 million shares and he just made a $20 spread. He made $20 million in his pocket, taking advantage of a business losing money. It should never happen in America. It should never happen in the world. It should never happen. So who he wins, but who loses? The people that bought the stock at 32 in hopes of the business going up. That business that believed in the business and said, I'm going public. And it's like standing on a castle in England, you know, and saying, I made it, I went public. And you're standing in your front door and you're thanking God and the country for investing in you. And in the back door comes the people looting your whole castle and taking it away. And now you have nothing. And so what we've done is we've created a market with no derivatives. No one can ever make money if your business fails on our market. They make money if your business succeeds. So I invest in you, Scott, because I love you. I love your business and I want to help it succeed and get to the next level, next level, and next level. And if you lose, I lose. And if you make money, I make money. So I'm never betting on you losing. I'm always betting on you winning. That's the American way. That's the humanity way.
Yeah, it's such a much better way of doing it. What it brought to mind is what some of the tech folks did earlier in the year, pounding the short sellers with the GameStops of the world and some of those other. And they said, you know, we don't think this is right, but this is the way we're going to attack them. And they took a lot of short sellers out of the market that way, didn't they?
Well, they did, but they don't really understand the world. Now, I owned a broker-dealer firm. You know, we've taken companies public before I knew all the ugly, dirty stuff.
Right.
We saw this happen. And unfortunately, today, it's happening every week on average. Manipulators are taking a business that is a strong company and destroying that business, putting it out of business and taking it off Wall Street. But what happened with GameStop? Well, here's some inside information. These guys are saying, oh man, this fund is, and these other investors, they're shorting the stock. So Reddit and then, you know, start communicating, hey, we don't want this to happen, right? And then they started doing a short squeeze on these guys doing a short sale. And what that means, they're buying up the stock. They're trying to pump up the stock, right? So that these guys don't get the short sale. And it worked. I mean, that stock went insane, right? And Robinhood was the main broker that was selling that stock for these guys. You know, Robinhood's great. We're going to steal from the rich and give to the poor, right? But what happened? That's the rest of the story that people don't think about. I mean, you hear people saying, well, I don't care that I lost my money. I took it to the big guys. No, because the big guys also put in billions of dollars in Robinhood. So they just make a phone call and say, look, shut down your trading platform for 2 days. They also put $1 billion plus into Reddit. Stop the communication of these guys for a couple of days.
Wow.
What happens? They can't communicate. They can't trade. Stock does what?
Drops back down.
But people don't tell that story.
Hard to believe that there's that much of that goes on. But that, again, why I love what you're doing with ISM and whatever, and just, you know, saying we've got an independent stock market here. There are no derivatives, so you can't play any downside games. You
Right.
can't take advantage of somebody having a weak quarter or things like that. If you want to invest in them and stand behind them, great. Then help them grow on their merits and on the merits of their products and their actions, and you will make money. And come in here to support. Don't come in here to take advantage.
Yeah.
Because again, the American dream is it's not for lack of people wanting to work hard or that have good ideas.
Yeah.
It's the capital behind. So when you align the positive, I've got a great idea, or I've got an idea that I'm in love with, or a purposeful idea, I'm willing to work my chops off to make it successful. Boy, it's great to be aligned with investors that say, I'm with you, let's make this thing run. What a great opportunity, all through ISM and America's Real Deal, right?
Now we're thrilled with the response that we're getting. We're excited about some of the celebrities that are going to join us for season 1. People that want to see how it works can go to americasrealdeal.com and watch the pilot season. It's going to change the way things are done. We will become the most respected stock market in the world. And it's because of our members, the people that download the app and they start consistently investing $100 a month into one of the companies and start building their portfolio and learning how money works and learning you either earn interest or you pay interest, and how you can move from one to the other, and how you can get out of debts and get your financial house in order, and then protect your estate and your house, and then grow it with investments and doing it properly, because these people never had the opportunity. Just like the business owners don't know how to truly raise capital, these investors don't really know how to invest and what to look for. So our number one responsibility is for the investor. And if that's true, which it is, then we've got to find the right companies. And we need help from you and others to send those right companies and vet them out. Are they the right company for this business or this investor to come in and have some ownership and see a return? And then hopefully a multiple like private equity groups get all the time, of a 5x and a 10x or a 1000x. Now, they also know the numbers. So the numbers are, out of 10 companies, 5 will not make it. Even with them coaching as private equity and putting the money behind, 3 will break even, 2 will do a 3x, and 1 will do up to 10x. And sometimes that 1 will jump. But those are the numbers. Well, if you hit just that number I said, that's a 12% return on your money.
That's nice.
It's nice. You can't get that at the bank, but it's a law of large numbers. You can't just do in 12 deals and expect those numbers. You've got to do it every year. $100 in every company. If you can do 200, diversify and do 200. Don't use your grocery money. Don't use your rent money. Don't borrow money to invest. These are just basic things, but start putting together an investment strategy. And now you can see private equity firms don't just make the 12%. On average, they make over 30% a year on their money.
Wow.
So
it's a lot.
That's really good, right? But that's what they make on average. And that's now available to everybody.
So how do they get a hold of the app to start the process, to start to watch about some of the companies and
just go to their app store. Yeah, go to their app store and type in America's Real Deal. And you can go to our website too, same name, America's Real Deal, and you can look at the companies to invest in. And again, we're just getting started. We're getting geared up for the season 1. We've already funded several companies. And so we've just got a handful of companies now on the platform and more joining every month. And now's the time for them to get in, sign up as a member. You can either sign up for free. There's upgrades where you can get more education. And of course, we look for you to be one of the guest webinar speakers.
Sure.
And that's how it happens.
Well, again, it's such an innovative idea, and the foundation is behind supporting the entrepreneur, and the entrepreneur is the lifeblood of our country. If we don't help entrepreneurs, again, not for lack of numbers, not for lack of people with desire, lack of people getting behind those people to support them, to really allow them to do some great things. So what comes next for America's Real Deal? Where do you go from where you are, or just more of it?
Yeah, truly just, season one, the launch. We're meeting with some major networks and so forth to make sure that we launch well with some wonderful celebrities. And we just talked to a fellow that is a partner in a $1 billion private equity fund that says, yes, he'd love to be it. We just had a meeting with a fellow who's produced Elevator Pitch and 2-minute drill and office hours, and he's thrown his hat in the ring to be on the show. And then of course we're going after national talent that everybody, you mentioned their name and everybody knows. So that's our key thing right now, is finish the celebrity list, get the network, and then while that's happening over here in ISM, we're interviewing companies and qualifying them. And then we'll have some large pitch events. We're going to be in New York next week, the following week in Utah, and then we're going to Texas and California. And kind of like America's Got Talent, people line up in the streets to pitch their talent. Well, businesses are lining up to pitch their business and to be part of the program. But what we're offering for you is anybody that reaches out to you, they don't have to go through the website and compete with everybody else. You can then determine, do they meet our requirements?
Right.
And you connect them directly with me. So we're looking for companies in revenue, companies that are scalable, that understand their industry. So they have to be experienced in that industry. They have to have something unique. It's a TV show, and it's an investment. You gotta have something unique, and then you have to have a customer base that's going to support you and get that start of that crowdfunding going, so that then our members and so forth can see, oh yeah, that's moving. I want to be part of that.
So if you heard what Adam said there, if you fit those criteria, or if you want to replay that section so that you hear the criteria, and then reach out to me, Scott@scottschilling.com. I've worked with Adam in the America's Real Deal team in the past, and we've had some great companies come through. And if you're one of those companies, or questioning whether you're one of those companies, reach out, Scott@scottschilling.com. I'll guide you through the process a little bit, and we'll get you through to Adam and the team, and get some things going for you. How about one last little piece of wisdom for everybody who's entrepreneurial and saying, gosh, does anybody recognize it's been hard the last year and a half? Where do we go from here?
Well, I'm certainly optimistic, and entrepreneurs are. And the true mark of an entrepreneur is someone who says, I'll figure it out. That is the true mark of an entrepreneur. If you throw up your hands and say, I don't know what to do, you're not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur says, I will figure this out and we will make this happen. Now you have to be smart enough to say, okay, that didn't work, right? If a business doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But an entrepreneur always figures out how to make something happen if it's the right project.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, Adam, thank you for joining me here today. Again, all of you that have some interest in this, reach out, Scott@scottschilling.com. And I just want to say thank you all for being here. Scott Schilling Speaks, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Actually, we'll see you again Monday, the exact same time. God bless. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. We'll see you, Scott.